Hello, all. This is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And in this particular video, I want to talk to you about what it's like to be a dad as a professor. So, if you don't know me, I'm an associate professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There were so many people that helped me out that I want to pay the favor forward and help you out. So, if you probably have heard in the background every once in a while, you probably hear kids screaming in the background. That's because I've got two boys, as an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and we live life just like everybody else. And I wanted to sort of share these experiences and what it's like to actually be a dad as a professor and sort of balancing the life of being a professor in a business school and parenting at the same time. I'm really active. Both my wife and I are very active in our kids' life. It's very important to us to make sure that we have healthy and well developed kids and everybody is functioning in society, sort of thing, right? So this video is probably geared towards those people that are thinking of becoming a parent, or they are parents in academia and they want to just sort of relate and find somebody that's relating to that. So again, if you hear noises in the background, it's just me being the dad thing, and I just snuck out at this moment. So here's some things that you're probably going to experience if you are an academic and dealing with being a parent. So the first thing is, your kids are really not going to understand what you do all day. It's just like everybody else that's outside of academia. They're really not going to understand. They're going to look at your laptop every once in a while and they're going to say, what is it that you're writing? And they're going to be, it's just overwhelming with all the stuff that they have. And that's kind of an everyday occurrence. A lot of times they just kind of brush me aside and just say, well, that's just dad's thing. Your kids, the second thing is, often your kid's probably going to have the most boringest day. Kids take your kids to work day than anybody. And in fact, my kids want to go to my wife's workplace because she's a veterinarian, and it's a lot more exciting to go to a veterinarian's office than an academic's office. In fact, we've had some of our friends' kids, they've come over and went to my wife's work as well, because they are academics or they work in the academic profession, and it's just not nearly as exciting. So imagine taking your kids to a lecture and you're giving a lecture, or imagine you're taking them to your office and the funnest thing is to spin around in the chair, and that's about it, and everything else is really boring. I've had to take my kids to work. Currently, not right now, we're social distancing. It is 2020, but on the days that we did go there, it's not really exciting at all, and it's just it's just a plain old office, right? So it's really not all that enjoyable for them. So definitely the most boringest day that they're gonna have at a take your kids to work day. So we don't do that. The third thing is that you're gonna have a lot of time to go to your kids' events, in the sense that, not that you have a lot of time to do things, but the sense that you are going to be really flexible with your time. And that's kind of actually really fun, to be a lot more flexible than a lot of people, right? So we're not 9 to 5 or whatever it is, right? That we have these fixed schedules that we have to be at an office. Although I don't think anybody is going to be that way now after the coronavirus. But before that, people had to go into their jobs and they had to spend their whole day there. But with these sort of academic lifestyles, we work wherever we want to work, and so we kind of filled spaces, right? So I've got my laptop, and I bring it in a backpack, and I just carry that wherever, right? So I'm almost like a kid, where I'm carrying around my book bag, and then I just kind of write wherever, right? So if it's at a coffee shop, if you have an hour to spend before you go and pick up your kids, and then you go pick them up, right? So that happens a lot. Oh, that's another thing that you end up doing is, probably just like everybody else, but you end up, working and cramming as much time as you possibly can in that work day when your kids are at school or at daycare. and you're really getting it done as quickly as you can, everything that you possibly need to do before you actually go home and hang out with your kids. Because when you're with your kids and you're doing the family thing, especially when the kids are smaller, so smaller being less than 5, 6 years old, it's just all consuming and you can't do anything at home. So don't expect that at all. It's changing a little bit in my life. My kids are becoming a lot more independent with a lot of different things. So it definitely could sort of sneak away and stuff like that. But when initially, don't expect that. It's really crazy, and it is just a real balance with that, right? So you know, the other thing that you're going to do with this is you're probably going to encourage your kids to do many things that are related to your particular field, right? And I'm not sure how you feel, but with me, I like a lot of the things that I do. So, for example, entrepreneurship. Remember a long time ago when my kids are like, 2 or 3 years old, I was getting them to clean around the house and we give them quarters for all the chores that they do. Now they're doing more, and they get a little bit more. They get $1 for every chore that they do around the house, and that's just to encourage everybody to be entrepreneurial. I really like that. It also encourages them to do work when they are, it just encourages them to get going and doing things. So you're going to look for things like that, where you're going to do things that are related to your field and study things in your field, right? Or maybe you're a scientist and you're going to do maybe a little experiment or something like that. You see that all the time, and that's just because you kind of know that, and it's kind of your interest, right? So maybe you're in computer science and you might work on computery stuff, right? Or you're into mathematics and you do mathematical stuff. Whatever it is, right? You're going to go into those different things. And it's just because you know that. And that is totally fine. The other thing that's going to happen if you're a parent, or if you're a dad and, you're an academic, what you're going to do is do homework at the table at the same time. And it's becoming a lot more easier as my kids get older to do that. So we kind of all sit around at the table. Particularly with the whole coronavirus thing, we sit around the table and we all do work together, and we kind of share things a little bit as we're working together. So that's all I wanted to share with this, and hopefully you have other experiences. If you have many different kinds of other experiences as being a academic and a parent, leave some comments below. Everybody else would like to find out. All right, so give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.